so to name some, is the data risk. A huge amount of data we are collecting. There are risks to its basic leakage, to complete loss, which affects my business also. Some companies have the data with respect to their IPR, which they need to protect from competitors. And now the new dimension is the privacy of personal data, sensitive personal data, and aggregated data, etc., etc. Now, the research area or the academia, I do not have much knowledge about on what they are researching on what kind of futuristic domains they are doing their R&D. But in terms of our end of practitioners cybersecurity, I will say a few of the concerns which I face and I try to protect is, number one is the data risk. And data risk also, first is the BCP data risk. That is, my business continuity data should be protected first from any kind of risk, that is loss due to natural calamities and up to the level of ransomware. And then comes the other data, which is the data which I hold for other of my customers, which I need to protect and archive them, because I am a data custodian also for my customers who are the owners. So I have to keep that data in for a few years or maybe few decades till the business is not having any use of that data. Third category of data comes to where I am sharing some data for the national level data collection exercises, or you can say the analytics which they need to run to cater to national policies making and the likes there. So these are three kinds of data which I need to protect, and at a varying degree level. The data which I have shared, even if I lose it, somebody else has a copy of it. But my business critical data, my master data, which nobody else has, will be of utmost criticality if it is not available to my business, and my business may start faltering. So I have to keep it in some sort of protection where it is protected from loss, from leakage, as well as from malware like ransomware, etc. The next cybersecurity risk which I face is the threats which are coming from the network. So as you know that now everything has to go onto the internet. Every application has to have a mobile version. So the network generated threats or risks are omnipresent, and we need to take as much protection like firewalls, WAFs, IPS, even the now latest technology that is AI/ML based firewalls, which can detect the risks in real time by analyzing the data from my organization as well as the organizations spread all across. The next level of risk or next domain of risk comes from the users. They are the biggest, weak point in our ecosystem, where the users' knowledge about ICT varies from completely illiterate, in our case, and up to the level where some people are private hackers even. Sometimes white hat hackers, sometimes not so white hackers. So they also pose a threat, because they keep on dissecting our internal applications and try to show off their skills to their peers or in the community. So that also forms a risk. So we have to test our applications in such a way that they do not allow these our internal hackers or internal illiterates to pose risk to the enterprise data. Another risk with the internal risk which we have is that most of our applications have to undergo changes as per the government policies and the benefits which are being given, or the concessions and everything being given to the employees as well as to the public. So in doing such changes, if the security testing is not up to the mark, then something or the else will break somewhere, or somebody will have a loophole in the applications and they will go in. One more domain which is now very prominent especially for government organization like us is the external state actor threat. We know we have not so friendly neighbors, and we are in decades old rivalry with them, both on a professional rivalry, defense rivalry, land rivalries, etc., etc. Now, many of these rivalries have spilled over to the digital domain, and digital domain means it is a risk for cybersecurity, and almost hundreds or thousands of attacks are being detected from various state actors as well as state-sponsored private hacker activists. We call them hacktivists. So you must be reading in the newspapers now and then that some group is using some kind of special ransomware tool to attack some certain kind of entities. So these are sometimes sector specific, sometimes not so specific, but they are there all the way. And sometimes there is a collateral damage also. They are targeting some particular kind of industry, but due to the common internet and common ISPs, their attacks are also directed towards our networks, and we get impacted. There is no tool or solution to this. There is only vigil we need to maintain, in which the companies which are doing brand monitoring, dark web monitoring, and the national agencies like CERT-In, NCI, PC, they keep on giving us these advance warnings, and we keep on updating our defenses in the firewalls and in IPS, IDS, so that these risks are minimized. We all know that security cannot be 100% ever. And right now, I can remember from my industry segment, these are the risks which we face. Another risk which I can recall now is the risk from the competitors also, because despite railways being a monopoly, there are other modes of transport which compete with us directly or indirectly. And sometimes we do have reports where our systems are sometimes impacted through these hackers on hire, which try to impact our systems and try to impact our bookings, etc. And yes, related to this, another issue is of hackers on hire, which try to book tickets by jumping the queues. We call them bot-based hackers, which they collude with some of the legitimate agents and all that, and impact our systems, thereby depriving the genuine customer of booking his ticket and all that. Due to these bot activities, we have to make our defenses more and more complex, and this impacts the genuine customer who may not be so tech savvy in the internet. So these are some of the challenges which we face at present.